Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing our first quarter updates. We have just started our new school year, and so I wanted to share with you guys what goals we have and what we're going to be working on this quarter. All right, so we are in our first week of homeschool of our new school year. I have a fourth grader, a second grader, and a preschooler. I am going to start doing these quarterly updates. I will do a video at the beginning of our quarter with our goals, what we're going to be working on, and then I will follow up with a end of quarter recap, as well as this is kind of where I'm going to be sharing our read aloud choices, units we're going to be working on, and just things like that. Our first quarter is going to be from July 25th to September 30th. So it's going to be the last few weeks of July and all of August and September. And so it's about 10 weeks. We do have two breaks. We have a break in August and a break in September for traveling. And so we're going to have about 8 weeks of like education time. And there's no major holidays throughout these 2 months. And so there's no themes we're going with. We're really just getting back in the flow with school and curriculum. All right, I do have my notes so I don't forget to add anything. So we have added some new curriculum to our homeschool this year. The first new curriculum that we've added is Wordly Wise. So Wordly Wise is a vocabulary type curriculum. I am using it for both my fourth grader and my second grader, and we are absolutely loving it. You get per lesson, you get like a list of words and their definitions. My fourth grader has more words than my second grader does, and then there's activities to do during the week. Don't want to say problem, but kind of where we're struggling and adjusting is we don't do all of our curriculum on one day. We kind of rotate through it. And so because we're not doing Wordly Wise every day, I'm trying to figure out what days we're going to do the lessons and how many lessons. So for my fourth grader, we're probably going to just stick to one lesson per time we do it. And so one activity per day, because her words are a little bit more challenging, and so her lessons may take us 2 weeks to complete one lesson, whereas my second grader, her words aren't as difficult as well. She doesn't have as many, and so she may be able to complete 2 of the activities per day, which means she might be able to complete a lesson per week. And so we are absolutely loving Wordly Wise. We're just trying to see how it fits in with our curriculum. Like day-to-day schedule. We are also trying out Spelling UC with my second grader. I have seen it around. I've heard mixed reviews about it. I've heard really good things and not so great things. And when I first saw it, to me it seemed like it'd be really good as like a handwriting plus spelling plus reading, kind of just an all-encompassing language arts addition curriculum. My second grader has been doing it. We aren't in love with it. I don't really know how to explain why. It's just I can tell if something's gonna work or not work pretty fast, and this one just seems to not be working, but we're gonna give it a chance. We're gonna give it a few more weeks and kind of see. Like we just might have to get into it and get used to it because it is different. So that's another new curriculum that we've been using. We have also started our unit studies, and so for this quarter, we are doing the human body unit study that I put together. This unit study goes with some additional reading resource, like a book from Usborne, some other books and resources where we do a general overview of the human body and the body systems. And so this is 13 lessons. We do about 2 lessons per week, and so we will be wrapping up right around when we're ending this quarter. And so this will really be the only main unit study we're doing as a family this quarter. For my second grader, we are doing Beautiful Feet books, geography K through 3, and so just her and I are working on it together to get like kind of an introduction to geography, and it does go over the United States. So that brings me on to one of our major goals, and I'm so sorry, my phone, I keep getting messages in the background. I never get this many messages or have my phone on. I think, oh, I have my phone on because my kids are with my mother-in-law, and as you can probably tell in my voice, I'm still trying to get over a sickness, and my son is still sick, and so I just want to make sure if he needs anything, she texts me. So anyways, I apologize for all the beeping. But speaking of the United States, so my goal, not just for this quarter, but for this school year, is to really have my 4th grader and 2nd graders start becoming more familiar with the states and memorizing the states. There's lots of fun songs. We have some board games, some puzzles, and so that will be a goal throughout the entire year. I want them to memorize all 50 states. And so that's something we're going to be working on independently with each of them in certain curriculums, as well as we're going to be doing some group activities to learn those as well. Great. So we're also using Bookshark for my 4th grader in her day-to-day curriculum. And so we're using Bookshark's Reading with History Level D. The big difference this year is having a history curriculum as like a main curriculum. It's a daily task she's actually working on, and so it's right up there with language arts and math, where it's something she works on every day. We're getting used to that because it is a lot of focus on history, where a history used to just be a topic we maybe touched once a week. And so we are adjusting to that. The way Bookshark has their schedule laid out is absolutely amazing. We're not spending more than an hour on it, but we are spending about an hour on it. There's a read aloud that I need to do with her. There's text that we need to read as like her core knowledge base, and then there's a hands-on activity, there's like mapping activities, and then she has her independent reader and then there's like discussion questions. And so the first day it was just a lot, not that it was a lot of things, but it was just like getting in that flow. And so now that we've had a few days, we are way in the flow and we are enjoying it. My biggest thing is making sure my kids are enjoying it. And I did flat out ask her, like, is this too much? Are you enjoying it? And she said, yeah. And so we're reading through the books. We are trying to figure out how that read aloud is going to kind of play in with our normal read aloud. What we normally do is we just have family read-alouds that we do at the end of the night. Once my preschooler goes to bed, my daughters and I cuddle up on the couch and we do read-alouds of whatever books. Over summer, we were reading the Wayside School series. And so now, though, that my older daughter has a separate read-aloud, I don't know how I'm going to incorporate that, because that's like, it's tapping a lot of my energy out to be able to do that with her and then do it again later on. I want to do that with both of my daughters, but I'm just trying to figure out time-wise how we can do that. How can we have multiple read-alouds? The books are a little more advanced and they are history-based, and so even myself and my older daughter are having to really focus and pay attention through the read aloud, where I don't know if my 2nd grader would enjoy it as much as some of the other books we tend to read for read aloud. So I'm going to share all the books that we have this quarter that we're doing, but this is the first one we're reading right now. It's The Peacemaker. It's about Native Americans. There is a smaller tribe that had broken off from a larger tribe, and 2 of the young boys were out fishing and one gets kidnapped. It's really engaging. It catches you in right away, and I think it's going to be a really great story, but with the different tribe names, with understanding Native American culture and how their names aren't Joe and Sally, you know, they have names like cloud forming or names that are harder to pronounce. And so even me getting through pronouncing those and making sure my daughter is understanding, is it a person's name? Is it a tribe name? Is it an area they're talking about? We're going through this read aloud very slow. Thankfully, the coursework that we're doing is, you know, bridging Native American culture and things like that. And so we are developing a better understanding of it, but this is going to be hard to do as a read aloud all together as a family. And so originally I was like, whatever read alouds we're doing for Book Shark, we'll just do as a family. I don't know if that's going to be able to be the case. And so we'll see as we get into some of the other books that we're doing as read alouds. So that's the perfect segue into what read alouds we're doing this quarter. So the read alouds that we're doing this quarter, first I'm going to show you the Book Shark read alouds. And so these are specifically for my 4th grader, but I may bleed them over into our family read alouds. I just showed you guys Peacemaker. The second one is going to be The Sign of the Beaver, which I've heard amazing things about this book. I think it's about like a young boy who needs to learn how to like protect himself, like out in the wild, in the wilderness. And so this will be our next read aloud. And I will try to do this one as a family and see if my 2nd grader can kind of follow along as I'm doing the read aloud. We also have a child's introduction to poetry. This is part of Book Shark's 4th grade reading with history curriculum. And so there's certain poems we'll pull out and we will do and read together as a family. And so this is something that is completely fine for my 2nd grader to be a part of. 2 other read alouds that I want as a goal to read this quarter with both of my kids is The Wild Robot. I talked about this in a recent Amazon haul. I've seen great things and heard great things about this book, and so I really want to read this, and there is a sequel to this as well. So this hopefully we can do. We will see. And then I've had this book for a while, Charlie and Frog. It's been on our list to read as well. We just have not gotten around to it, and so I'm hoping we can get this done this quarter as well. So those are all the read alouds that we have planned. Like I said, because we're adjusting to Book Shark, I don't have any more planned. I don't even know 100% if we're going to get through the ones we have. But then both of my daughters have their own assigned readers. And so my 4th grader's assigned readers obviously do come from Book Shark, her reading with history. This is the first book she's been reading, A Lion to Guard Us. This is about a family whose mother dies. Their father goes off to the new world and they're kind of left behind, and it's just about these kids coming together. And so it's a good story, but then it does mix in some history with what we're learning. My daughter's enjoying reading it. The reading level's good. The length is super good. And I've heard really good things about this book as well. Then she's going to be reading Pocahontas and the Strangers. And then she's also going to be reading Squanto, Friend of the Pilgrims. And so because she's just doing Intro to American History, year 1, a lot of it is based on Native American history. There's some awesome resources that we're using that I'll share more in depth on Book Shark reviews. But it's really, we're getting a really good knowledge of Native Americans. Pretty much our entire first quarter, so 10 weeks, is on Native Americans. So I'm very excited about that. And then I think that even trickles into our 2nd quarter, which is really good because it kind of goes in with Thanksgiving and things like that. So those are her 3 that she'll be independently reading over the next few weeks. At this time, I'm not really making her do any additional readers. She does have with her Good and the Beautiful Language Arts those readers that she'll have to do periodically through Language Arts, but she doesn't have anything additional at this time. And then for my 4th grader, she actually has one of the books with her. She's doing Book Shark's Language Arts 2, but she's doing the level 4 readers, and so you can kind of change the level of readers. Just because she has such a high reading level, I went and got the level 4 readers for her. I have a whole video on that, and I will link that down below. Instead of following like a strict reading schedule that they do provide, I just kind of let her pick as she wanted to which books. And so the first book she picked is B is for Betsy. She actually took that book with her today when I'm filming the video to my mother-in-law so she could actually finish it up. She's really enjoying it. I think she's read the book in 2 days. And then her next book is Socks. This is a very popular book, and so I know she'll enjoy and have fun reading this book as well. And then these are the next 2 I'm going to pick for her. Frindle and The Whipping Boy. And so she'll be reading those ones as well. She reads morning, day, noon, night. She reads herself to sleep every night. So I wouldn't be surprised if she gets a few more added on there, but I just didn't want to put any more on her plate to make sure we get through those. What both my girls are going to be doing is once they finish a book, they're actually going to give it a rating. And so at the end of our quarter, I will be doing a book review and I will share all of their ratings and our thoughts on those books. So when you guys go book shopping, you can see how we enjoyed or maybe didn't enjoy some of those books. And this again is more for like this year, something we're changing. I was watching, I forget, someone's YouTube video, and they were talking about how they're preparing their kids in middle school for high school. And my 4th grader is going to be in middle school in 2 years. And so I kind of was, you know, just kind of watching it and seeing. And one of the things they talked about was grades. When we first decided to homeschool, I really threw grades out the window. Even before that, we were in a charter school, and our charter school didn't use traditional grades like A, B, C, D, F. They didn't use those. They used 1, 2, 3, 4. And so my kids really have never had grades, even coming from a charter school, like a B, C, D, F grade. So what I want to do this year with my 4th grader is we're going to very loosely start grading certain assignments. We're going to grade tests and quizzes and, you know, unit reviews, things that I can assign points and grades to and have like an overall grade. So we are going to start that. I found a really cool website. It's called Gradebook Plus. It is free. You download this Excel, and so we're going to try doing that with my 4th grader to just get her in the habit that when she does start taking more middle school courses that may not be I'm the full teacher, they may be online and they may have grades. I don't want her to be shocked with that, especially when we get into high school or college, if that's the path she takes. Grades are a real thing, and so I just kind of want to show them what that means, because again, my kids have never had traditional grading systems. So that is another thing that we'll be doing, and I'll be updating you guys on that as well. So this is our first quarter update. I am so excited to get into our school year. We've had a wonderful first week already, and I will be keeping you guys updated. I would love to hear if you guys have started your first week or if you're getting ready. What are some of your goals for your first quarter? Thanks so much for watching, guys. Have a wonderful day. Bye.